Hello everyone, welcome to Professional Friday, number 8 I think. We're at episode 8. And today we're gonna talk, as always, as to like a really cool person, to a really cool artist turned content producer. He's Tom Cowles, also like a good friend of mine. We did a lot of adventures together, and he lives in England, and I was there a bunch to like work with him. But we'll get into those stories later, more in detail. But for now, I want to show you a little bit of his showreel, so you get an idea of what he does and what he's all about. So let me switch to my desktop here, and let's just check it out together.
Just imagine a trip to a wonderful land, a candy and jam and ice cream.
I gotta hit that string, you better watch it. Whip a gap that attack it with a full clip. I got the whip, got the pitch that I keep it undercover. All up in the cup, just to live it up. See the stone cold face, try to knock it. I keep it tight, never walk on the rocket. I got a beat in it, I got a grip in it. I got a beat, got a beat, got a beat, beat.
Holy chromatic aberration!
Tight. Alright, with that, let's just introduce you to the guy himself. Hello, Tom!
Hello, Calvin.
Welcome,
I want to
welcome.
first start off by saying probably about like a good third of that showreel was either included you physically or something that you worked on.
Yeah, dude, I noticed that too. It was so funny to see, especially with me just like the iconic
pop up.
stuff. Yeah. Oh, hello, it's me. I'm in Star Wars. Tom put me in Star Wars.
Oh no, but yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really happy you joined. Now we've been talking. I mean, we've always been catching up on each other, and since I started the school, I also wanted to like have you on here because you're also really like multifaceted creative guy, right? Like I think you have a lot of cool ideas and perspectives on the whole industry. So yeah.
I mean, that's very kind of you to say. I try to. I mean, when you, I think I sent a message about it as well. But when you put like Professional Fridays and stuff, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen myself as a professional, but I know that that's
Dude.
probably what I am.
You're totally a professional. Yeah, totally a professional.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years, and it's like, no, I probably should be calling myself that.
Oh yeah, talking about like calling yourself that, I found it really interesting. Like you market yourself as a content producer now, but you started off when you started filmmaking more like VFX and 3D artist, right?
Yeah, so I think that's kind of over the years it has been like this going from one thing to another. Like, I started off as like a camera operator, and that was my main thing. And then I was like camera operator, editor, and then over the years, like I then started going into like visual effects, trying to do like basically I was cleaning up my shots that I messed up, and then going like, okay, I'll now, people are asking me to do more of that. I'll be a VFX artist. And then I started getting into 3D mainly as well. I would just like to add, because of you.
Oh, what?
But yeah, man, I Blender was something I only dabbled in like every now and then. And then you came around to do the Star Wars stuff and showed me that like, oh, wait, sick. You could do like X-Wings and like all this amazing CG stuff. And it looks cinematic and wonderful. And that was when the light bulb went off, like, well, it's a free software. Let's try and learn that. And now it's at this point where it's like, okay, no, I kind of do a bit of CG as well.
Yeah, I mean, but you did some like because I was super impressed by that. Like before, when we met, you already used Houdini, right, to like do your student project, I think.
Yes, yeah. So that was kind of like I had just, so fun story. So I did go and get my master's degree in technical direction for visual effects.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they were training us on like Houdini, but I had never opened a 3D software before. And that was kind of like the pushing the deep end sort of thing of like, okay, I'll learn how to do this. But Blender was the thing of like, okay, no, well, I can't afford a Houdini license.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really like continue that path, and I'm not doing it as frequently. But Blender seems like this option where I can continue doing that, all that fun stuff, integrate it with this, and then get more confident with CG.
See, okay,
That's kind of
interesting.
yeah.
All right,
So
yeah.
diving into the
Let's
stuff.
continue.
I'm not
I guess
answering your question at all.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool, man. I guess let's continue down the road then. Like we like you learned technical 3D, right? Like Houdini at the university, and then did you immediately go to FXhome? Like, did you get a job right after uni?
Yeah. So I went to uni. I then worked for a while, and then I went back to uni to get my master's degree. And while I'm getting that degree, I'm then getting in touch with FXhome. So that I'm working on the other side of the country, like up north, and I'm messaging Kirsty, and she's asking for like tutorials and stuff, and that's kind of like how it began, as like freelancing, doing guest tutorials. And then I got a message going, hey, we're looking to hire a content creator. Would you be interested? And immediately went, yes, I would love to, but I'm trying to finish this degree. Can you wait until September? And bless them, they just went, yeah, no, we'll wait.
Nice.
So
Maybe
as soon as I was done, moved back, and then we started making some great stuff.
Tight, yeah. Maybe for a little context, FXhome is a software development company in England, in Norwich, right? And they created the software HitFilm, but I think HitFilm is probably their most popular product, right? Like they created a bunch of other like indie filmmaking tools back then, but like HitFilm was really like the software that put them on the map, and also made them collaborate with Simon Nico from Coda Digital, right, to like create this short film Prism as like I guess opening a trailer, like a release trailer for HitFilm, right?
Yeah. So they've been around over 10 years. It's got to be over 10 years now, because I think they celebrated 10 years while I was there. But yeah, HitFilm is their biggest thing. They were acquired by Artlist back in 2022, 21. But yeah, no, their software. I mean, I still use HitFilm now. What what about yourself?
Sometimes, sometimes. The biggest problem for me why I don't use it much anymore is because I physically can't use a mouse much anymore. I really get like pain in my hand, right? So I use a trackpad most of the time, and HitFilm just doesn't support track input, right? Like it doesn't support pen input, so I just can't really use it that much as I would like to anymore. So yeah.
I go into it quite frequently. I kind of tried to see software as like a tool that's necessary for a job, and like depending on how quickly something needs to be done, I'll jump from one thing to another. So like sometimes there's just tasks that come across the desk where it's like, oh, I could do this in HitFilm, no problem, fire it out. Because it's still now, after doing years of tutorials, you get a bit more of a reflex for stuff. So, and then, but now, we're doing big chunky files, OpenEXR, that HitFilm doesn't support, so it's better to move into After Effects and stuff. But
still I use it for like things that I need to get done quickly, because to me like still the speed is really, really good, and like the effects are like there's just like a lot of effects that save you time, right? And they are really cool. So yeah, if I need to do something quick, I do it in HitFilm. But if I want to create something with a lot of detail, right, like detailed compositing, I then do that in Fusion, because in general, node compositing for me is very much more useful for working on detail and like getting really in depth and like keep adding stuff, right? Like because with nodes it's just much easier to like keep adding things and like making masks and all stuff like that.
I really need to dive into Fusion more, but it's on my list of many things to train myself in at some point.
All right, well, let's continue your story here.
Yeah.
Like you then went to FXhome to do content production, right? Like how was that? What did you do? Like what kind of productions did you do there?
Oh man. Okay, so I for the longest time, like when I was 15 and stuff, I'd started doing just goofy videos with my friends, and we would always be looking at like Film Riot being the big one. You know, looking at their stuff, they would do tutorials, and then me and my friends would be trying to recreate them based around a sketch or something. And when I joined FXhome, that was like, oh my god, these guys are asking me to be a big kid again. And because I think it was on my I joined, and the first video I made for him was like my introduction, and I was like, I want to be Spider-Man. So like we filmed stuff where it's like I was able to, you know, we're doing effects and stuff like that, and then went on to you know, which led me to meeting you, doing a Star Wars promo, which was insane. I still to this day remember that conversation where Josh and Kirsty, the guys at FXhome, they sat me down and was just like, yeah, we want to get plans in place for our Thanksgiving sale, Black Friday. We're gonna do Star Wars. Are you okay doing a Star Wars promo? And I could have cried. I was so excited. I was just like, yeah, okay, no, this is awesome. So a lot of the content I've done, I was with them for I think almost 3-4 years. I think joined in 2019, so it was a while, and then.
It felt to me like you were there even longer. Like that time felt really long to me.
He just wouldn't leave. Yeah, no. During that entire period, it was just, you know, we were doing weekly tutorials to showcase what you could do, what was possible in hip film, and you know, the guys were just so encouraging to be like, no, if there's something of interest that we know that users would also be interested in, do it. Film something, film a, you know, something in context, and show off what you can do. And like as we, you know, over that time, we would develop interests and stuff. Like Javert, another VFX artist, who is, in my opinion, he's bloody brilliant. And he was getting an interest in Unreal, so we started like incorporating those things and stuff. But to answer your question, yeah, the work at FXhome was just pure fun and enjoyment and encouragement of being a big kid with a sandbox of stuff that we could do, making as many things as we possibly could. That was just fun.
I mean, that's how it seemed. But I mean, yeah, it makes total sense in the context too, right? You were like, the company was trying to sell VFX software, and they were marketing to like young filmmakers and people who love nerd culture too. And so it makes sense to like just get in there and like make some fan films, right? Because it's just what people like us also consume, and then we get like interested in like, oh yeah, there's a software they made this with. Wow.
Yeah, and it's the thing that you're always doing. Like I feel like, you know, all VFX artists and just filmmakers in general will always analyze a film and go, well, how did they make that? How did they do that? And then having the ability to, you know, for us to actually sit there and go, well, how would we do that? How can we, you know, do a force throw where it looks like someone's being launched into the air and stuff like that? And you know, actually having the time and support to be like, well, work it out and then put it into a promo thing and tell other people how to do it. It's great. No, it was just nothing but fun.
I want to show that Rise of the Dark Side here, so people can know what we're talking about. Let's watch it together here.
Oh yeah, it's on the website. I'm not sure if this sound's working though, but
I don't think you can hear the sound, but the sound is in the live stream for sure. Let's see it. I'll turn it down a little bit so we can talk over it. Oh yeah, so me popping up there, that was a really interesting. I mean, every shot in this is basically a story we could tell. So in this shot, like, do you want to tell how this shot happened? Like, why am I popping up there suddenly?
We kind of, the whole thing was kind of like to make it, the idea was to do a trailer for something as if like we were going to make the film. And the idea being like, well, hopefully enough people watch this that they go, when's that film coming out? When are you going to do that? But also we just kind of, because, it is a trailer for a software. We also wanted to show like what are the most impressive sort of shots that we could try and do. You popping up. I think we did that with multiple people, didn't we?
Yeah. I think Ollie and me.
Right. Yes, and Meg, our actress.
Oh, Meg did it too. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we went through multiple and then just went, okay. I think it was just down to a choice of who are we seeing more and who's got the best roto and stuff, because obviously like we didn't have any like runway ML or anything like that. It would have been like all manual roto. So we were like, okay, what's the quickest one? And I think you were because Ollie had his big beard, Meg had her hair, and you're just neat.
Just neat silhouette, just easy silhouette.
Yes, exactly. So it was like that. But you did that shot, I believe, didn't you?
I did it together with Calver. Yeah, I did the rendering, right? Like the render of the X-wing in Blender, and like the dirt on the floor and everything, and then Calver did all the fire and the smoke. I try to remember if we rendered this shot in HitFilm or if this was a Blender render. I'm not super sure anymore.
You
know what?
Oh wait, no, hang on. I think you're right. I think this ended up being a Blender render that was then just composited.
Maybe. All right, let's continue watching it.
Yes, cool. You will know. Hologram stuff was awesome, man.
You did this one,
really
right?
I did these, and I was actually, I don't know. I'm still impressed with how that's turned out, but I don't know. Someone might be like, I think it was always. Yeah, I don't think anyone had a shot where they were just like, or I mean, Calvin, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anyone had a shot where they were like really pissed off with what they were making. Like even when there was like problems and stuff, we would just go in like, no, this is it's gotta look cool. Or
no, there was no. I feel like there was no frustration because it was all just like playing around, finding
You're making
ways
a Star Wars
to pull it off. Yeah. It was just enjoyment. Yeah. And there was like, I remember Josh, like for one of the next shots, Josh helped me to like create a script that would make the workflow work, right? Like because
yes, he did.
To
I still use that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue watching this.
Power. That is a Calver shot. That lightsaber stuff is just all him, man. It's just so good. Did you animate the ATST?
Yeah, I did animate it.
Yeah,
a friend of mine, Olaf, he modeled and rigged it, and then I.
Oh right, I didn't know he was Oh, nice. That shot was.
I think I comped it too, right?
No, I did the comping.
Oh, you did the comping?
I think that was. Yeah, I did. Sorry. This is one of mine.
Taking credit where it belongs.
I remember like because that was again that was another roto job, and it was one of those times where it was like, you're manually going around Ollie and the beard and then his arm, and because he also gets hit, doesn't he? So he's like his arm flails everywhere, and but yeah, no, I did that one. The next two are definitely yours though, and honestly they are so impressive, man.
Oh, the spaceships, right?
Yeah, that is so fun. Sick.
Yeah, it was so fun. I animated this shot in Blender, I animated the main the two main airplanes and the camera in Blender, and then exported that animation into HitFilm with the help of Josh's script. And yeah, then everything was rendered and comped directly in HitFilm, and I think it looks really good. Like,
No, dude, this is it looks amazing. Like, you're going frame by frame and analyzing yourself. It's so cool.
And Javert's lighting. Javert was kind of like
lighting.
the lens flare lighting effect guy, right?
He is the master of glows. But yeah, you should definitely get him on your live stream at some point.
Yeah, I need to catch up with him in general. Like, I don't really know what he's up to right now. I think he's working with Unreal Engine a lot still, right?
Oh yeah, no. So he's basically he's a game cinemat. I'm trying to think of what the actual. He's gonna hate me because I'm not getting his title right. But yeah, basically
director?
doing this. Yeah. No, well, the lighting.
He's really focused on the lighting. Okay.
Really good at that, and like the new. He's not under. Yeah, it's released now in common knowledge. He's just done the new Until Dawn remake.
Oh, okay.
Or the remaster rather. And I'm not sure if you play that game or anything like that.
I've watched it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah. So he did all the lighting in that game.
Yeah, I think he was pretty lead on it as well. I don't want to give him a title in case he tells me no, Tom. What were you saying? But yeah, no, he did. He did that. So he's doing that in Unreal. So definitely, and it makes sense after looking at what he was making for like Rise of the Darkside with the glows of the lightsaber and the electricity and stuff like that. He really knows what makes good lighting.
Yeah. It's definitely his passion. Yeah, I think that's it with the video then.
Yeah, and then he did that title as well. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm director.
Oh, there you go, Tom and Javert.
There we go.
I'm Javert, DP, and
Much
VFX
shorter hair.
supervisor.
We really hope that you've enjoyed our latest masterclass.
We've got a few
Nice.
tutorials on some of the effects you saw in the trailer, but we've got a lot.
And the t-shirts. I missed the t-shirts.
Oh, it's Star Wars t-shirts, right?
Yeah.
Why do you miss them? What happened to them?
I think they were just part of the FXhome wardrobe department.
Okay.
We kind of grew. Yeah, it's like,
I see. My own wardrobe with
I know,
nerd
right?
culture stuff. All right, cool. Yeah, let's continue down the your history. So like, like you did a bunch of like cool stuff like this, cool content like this. You directed and like did VFX and 3D on those. And then I guess the next stop would be Artlist, right?
Yeah. So so we were kind of going down this path of making stuff, and then like I mentioned earlier, Artlist acquired FXhome. I think it was 2021, maybe it might have been 22. But they were acquired, and then there was a big shift in direction of where they wanted to do the YouTube channel and stuff, where it kind of mainly focused more on editing than visual effects. So there was a big shift in the company, and their whole desire was to make I think it was like basically a Premiere Pro DaVinci equivalent sort of type thing. So we were trying to like shift everything in that direction. We were still doing visual effects, and when we were doing them, I think me and Javert kind of like we're going to do this, and we're going to do it for us, because we were at a point where we were doing like maybe one VFX thing per month rather than every other week. So when we would do them, we were doing them big. So they were like, there's a Guardians of the Galaxy and a Black Adam and things like that, where we were then kind of going into making these sketches that were a lot of fun. Like you saw the chromatic aberration one for, I think it was like Free Guy.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Holy chromatic aberration.
Should we check that one out? How's the name? How's it called on YouTube?
Sorry?
How's the name of that video on YouTube? I want to.
Holy chromatic aberration? I think it was Free Guy VFX hit film. You'll probably pop up, but yeah. So
Got it. Yeah.
So in short, after Artlist acquired FXhome, we kind of took a new direction, and I personally also wanted to make I wanted to try and elevate the content because we were getting to a point like where it's like, okay, well, we want to. Because the videos were more about like editing and kind of a bit more like candid corridor crew type approach, where we were like doing loop challenges and things like that. Video essay type things. So when we were all together, like Ollie, Javert, and me, and we would just be like, no, let's do a fun sketch, and direct it a little bit. I would always storyboard them down to a T. I would do crapotomatics if I could, and then so they'd turn out like this. And Shang-Chi is also another one that just makes me laugh so much. But yeah.
Yeah, wait, I got this. Oh, this is Black Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. The live stream we're having right now is in my suggestions here on YouTube in the in the sidebar.
Oh, nice.
It's like I'm scrolling down and I was like, wait, these people look familiar.
Hang on.
What's happening?
There's two very good-looking men there.
But yeah, I wanted to show you the intro of the free guy.
Quick, put these on
nice.
and you'll see like a VFX artist.
I already see myself as a bit of a holy chromatic aberration.
Hey, welcome to the world of VFX.
Are these
It's a bit.
Javert's?
If you're creating a
It's a bit stressful. Hey, welcome.
It's oh no, that was really fun. And we looked at for that hologram shot of Javert. I think I gave him Panini as a reference, so I don't know if you did that.
I didn't do that one, no, but it looks similar. I see it for sure.
Yeah. That was you inspired us, sir.
Oh no, I didn't do the holograms in Panini.
Oh, do you not?
No, I didn't do those.
I retract my statement.
I think Cody did those. Yeah. At least Cody did the graphics. I don't know if he did the final compositing, but he did the graphics for them.
Nice.
The graphics.
But yeah, so at Artlist we were kind of looking more at editing and stuff, and then when it came to our own interests, we would really take that chance and go, right, no, let's really dial up the effort and making it as awesome as we possibly could. Like I said, there's so many from that time that I'm actually like, no, that was really fun to make. And even though we were kind of being told a little bit what to do sometimes, we really just like jumped at every chance to be like, okay, no, well, we know that this is going to go down well, and we're also going to get some enjoyment out of it, so we're going to and then I think it was then that kind of came to a conclusion around like hang on, how long's it been? No, it's been a year. It was probably like last January, I believe. So about that was when my time at Artlist came to an end. It was like, okay, very bittersweet. And then moved on to a local place where I was creative strategist. And that's kind of, again, I was using those things for, we would have clients coming up to us and saying like, okay, well, we want these promo things. We want a video that advertises this, that, and the other. And it's like, great, cool. Well, if you give us a little extra money, then you can also have these social posts. And here's a campaign that you can have as well that'll kind of like tie in together and optimize, your web traffic. You can create this little ecosystem of content that goes from one thing to another. And then, hey, look at that.
How did you get? I would be interested in like how you got, how the transition or like how your learning was from, I guess, mostly focusing on filmmaking and then learning more and more and getting more and more into content strategies. Like, was it the natural development or how did it work for you?
Oh, yeah, no, okay. So it kind of happened. I feel like all of the things that I know now have all kind of picked up by mistake. but now it's like turned into I don't know, this is what I do. So it's kind of, So with FXhome, we're making the content and looking at everything, and we're making all the videos. We know what does well and stuff like that. And then when Artlist came in, they were really data driven, and that required us to always be looking at like certain data. So looking at like how much web traffic a certain video would cause, or perhaps the engagement of certain videos, like whether there's comments or how many people are sharing it, or just kind of it, for a big one for me was always the watch time and thumbnails. So I'm very kind of I'm very passionate about the videos that we've made and stuff. So I want them, and when we put them out, and when we put a lot of work into them, you always want them to do well. So I would like be looking at all the videos that we're uploading and stuff, and then being like, okay, well, this one over here, people would click off around a minute, whereas this one over here would be, they're hanging around for about 3 minutes. What are we doing in that one to then get that one? And then by the end of it, by the time that like my time at Artlist concluded and stuff, we would just kind of like, we had basically a formula of what was going to do well for a tutorial and stuff. And like, it's always experimental sometimes of how should we insert a prompt to subscribe here and this, that, and the other. But that's kind of like how it organically grew. There was there was a lot of support from Artlist to be like, if you want to become like social media manager and things like that, then like these are the routes that you're going to have to take to look into it. And because we adopted things like sprint planning and agile methodologies, are you familiar with any of those?
I was always wondering what sprint planning is. Because I've heard of it, but I don't know how it works.
Okay. So basically, you kind of, to put it really simply, the business sets out a big goal of what to do, and then from there you then break it down into 3 little smaller groups, and then your entire year is broken up into 2-week segments. So it's like, okay, for the next 2 weeks I'm going to be doing this. And what we would be doing as well is looking at the data from those things. So if we're posting stuff out on social, then we're analyzing that data the following sprint. So then going, okay, well, last week this amount of people went and checked out this, like that video. This amount actually came from this Instagram snippet that we did, which is brilliant. I don't know what we did in that snippet, but let's try and recreate that. So you're always looking at stuff and like adapting to that information that you're getting, which, after doing after about 2 years, a year or whatever, it's then in you to be like, okay, no, this is kind of because you're constantly putting stuff under the microscope where you have to adapt to what's happening. So that then kind of really gets this like ability in you to not only see the patterns. I love patterns. but it's like, okay, no, you can see what's happening, you can connect the dots and then be like, right, okay, well, if we do a bit of this, a bit of that, and then the data kind of backs us up that there might be something a bit more engaging. Putting it in the most boring term there, but what you can do is, by knowing at 2 minutes of a tutorial people tend to get bored, so what are you going to do to try and get them back engaged? You're gonna add in a skit, you're gonna add in something a bit funny, or or just directly go, hey, check out the website, go subscribe, do something like that and see what happens at that mark.
I find it very interesting in general that like there are kind of entertainment tutorials and like just pure tutorials, right? So like maybe you have some insight on that, like because I can imagine some people want like pure tutorials, right? They don't want to like have any like humor or like sketches in between. They just want to like get the information they need. What's your insight? What does better in general, or like what's the pros and cons for each side?
Okay, so there's a pro and con for both approaches, but the main thing it kind of really boils down to is what are you aiming to do with these tutorials and videos and stuff like that? Because what you'll find is by doing tutorials where it's like basic information and stuff, and like, here's how you can do step by step and things, people will, you're more likely to get people dripping in and out. So they're kind of, because what they're doing is they're looking for an answer and then getting it from, whoever's made that. So they're going to come in, get their answer, and they may leave. If they've come a couple of times, then they're likely to subscribe and go, oh, great, well, these guys were really helpful. So, they may do something in the future that will help me again. But if you're looking to create something very sustainable and going into, especially in the goals in terms of FXhome, ActionVFX as well. When you're trying to grow a community, you really want to highlight the personalities that exist within teams and stuff like that, because that's kind of what like, Film Riot as a big example, or Corridor, you come in for the education, but you stay because of the entertainment. It's the reason. Yeah, it's like the reasons why, like, I will always watch a Corridor video or a Film Riot video is because I'm like, no, well, these guys entertain me. I don't know what they're doing. Like, I think most recently, Film Riot did a Doctor Doom tutorial thing, where I'm like, okay, I don't need that information right now. I don't need to know how to make a Doctor Doom shield, but I'm gonna watch it because, one, I know that they make great content. I know it'll be fun, and also, like, it's just kind of, it's great content. So I think that's kind of like the approach for building a following, community, and stuff like that. That's probably the best way. Where I'm like, no, yeah, you really want to dial up the personality that you have, and it's again what we're now trying to do at ActionVFX and focusing on is like edutainment, I believe. Is the term.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah. So, because it's, I mean, and you're an example of that as well, man. Like, you have a wonderful shining personality where, you want to highlight that as much as possible in the things that you're doing, and by doing that, people are going to be like, hey, I like that guy.
Wait a second, that's a cool guy.
Hey, let's hang out.
This Tom guy, he's a cool guy. I think my
He's
mother would
alright.
like him.
I'm gonna take him home to my mother.
Gonna show his videos to my mum.
Yeah, check out his views, ma.
He's a cool guy, isn't he?
It's the funniest thing. Like, I saw my parents this week, and I got the infamous question of like, Thomas, what do you do? Are you a YouTuber? No, Mum, no.
But it's interesting that YouTubers are like a normal for them now. That like because then it seems like they kind of like realize that being a YouTuber is a career path now, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. But so what do they don't understand about your position that you have?
Let's opening that door. I don't think. Because I mean, admittedly, I feel like I'm in a very niche area of, like, for the past X amount of years now, since FXhome and stuff, my job has been, and is now the same at ActionVFX, is make cool stuff to promote these guys. And that's kind of where it's like, okay, I don't really know, other than content producer. Going back to your first question, is like, okay, so what is a content producer? Is basically just going, okay, I need to market this company in the best way possible, using my own skills, and create entertaining stuff that will engage with a particular community or audience or user. And
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it
So
seems to me like honestly that what you're doing isn't so far off of being a YouTuber, what a YouTuber does, right? Because you're still also in a lot of the times you're also presenting yourself and like presenting your personality and like putting that on the screen, and then like I mean, a lot of YouTubers also do that themselves, right? Like like looking at the numbers and trying to understand how they can improve their content. But you kind of like apply those skills for other people, right? To like make other people more successful.
yeah, I think that I think it's just I don't know. I I've always had that interest of like, doing YouTube and stuff, and like I said, we would be doing Film Riot bits and bobs all the time when I was like 15 or whatever, 15, 16. I don't know when they started. That makes it sound really old. But I it's always been an interest, and now it's very lucky to be in this position of doing it for other people. And it's I don't know how I got here.
It just happened. Just rode
It just
the wave.
happened. Like I said, I just kind of fall into stuff, and then it's like, oh yeah, no, cool, great. Literally, so I'm now working at ActionVFX, a place that does amazing VFX stock assets, so fire and explosions and things. And literally, it. I can't tell you how I got here, or anything apart from sending them a message being like, hey, I saw that you advertised this thing. Do I hit the mark? And it's really lucky to kind of be handed the keys to product, the editing software, VFX software, the asset library, and just being like, yeah, cool. Do you want to make cool stuff and promote it? It's like, yeah, great. And I think it's a lot easier to also look at what, I don't know why. I find it more like I personally would struggle to make my own channel or something because I don't, and you're probably picking this up, I don't like talking about myself. I would much rather much rather talk about the successes of other people and how wonderful they are and how amazing something is. Like yourself, for example, like I'm absolutely loving what you're doing, and the
Thanks.
work that you've done and stuff is fantastic. And doing that for a company where it's like, no, hang on. So ActionVFX have just launched or are about to launch their new subscription model, and it's great kind of going to new users and saying like, no, this is amazing because you're getting like so many assets all under one subscription. You can create so much, and here's all the things that you can create. And I absolutely love being a cheerleader.
Yeah, so it's like
people.
you're sharing your passion, or like you're sharing what you love, right? Yeah. I know, I get you. I fully understand that. Yeah.
So yeah, no,
it's to find motivation there.
Well, hopefully that made sense. But yeah, when it comes to talk, you asking like, hey, talk about yourself.
How's the wife? How are the kids?
Oh, see that I can talk about.
That's no problem.
That's fine.
I guess that kind of like leads into my next question pretty well. Like, because when you say you like keep stumbling into things and like your career kind of like just like happens, do you know where you want to be in a year from now? Like, do you have any plans what you want to do?
Wow. Okay. I never know what I'm doing next week, let alone a year. Actually, no, I do know what I'm doing in a year. I'm having another kid.
Oh, okay. That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. So fathering 2 children.
Congrats on that,
no,
man.
I thank you. Yeah. So, but in terms of career, I think that yeah, I would love to be doing, some kind of, to kind of be involved in some big projects, some big commercials and things. Like where I think now that I'm a dad, which is crazy, you kind of start thinking about legacy quite a bit. And especially with what we do, you always want to have that conversation with people where it's like, oh, I worked on this thing. Did you happen to see that? And people go, oh, wait, that? Yeah, I love that. I love that. I would love that feeling. And being able to say like, oh yeah, there was this thing that we worked on and stuff like that. Like, luckily, in our circles, I get to say that, and people will know. Oh wait, hang on, you worked with FXhome, Artlist, ActionVFX, and they're like, oh yeah, no, I know all of those things. That's awesome. I got recognized the other day when I was walking around my hometown, which is wild to me because very, very weird. But I think from a year from now, it's just kind of making sure that I'm still making some great content, great adverts, just keeping the bar increasing. I don't like the idea of staying like, being bored with what's being created or anything like that. I kind of want to make sure that the level is always being upped. And I think, now that, again, like I'm joining Action VFX, where they're going like, here are all our assets, and make a tutorial, make something cool that people will gravitate to. And literally, it's coming. Spoiler teaser.
Spoiler question
working on
mark?
something, right? yeah. I'm working on something for the channel that is basically like almost like recreating a scene from Top Gun, which I'm really happy with already.
Okay.
And it is very much like, okay, cool, getting, hopefully doing more and more like that, and just trying to grow an audience, grow in like my own skills, and making sure that they're going further. But yeah, from a year from now, just continue making cool stuff, man. I think that's always been it.
I'm really excited to see your Top Gun recreation.
I mean, I will send it to you when it's in a good place, man. Because I feel like, after looking at that X-wing and TIE fighter that you've done before, it's like, okay, Calvin knows about how planes work.
I don't know, man. That was the first time I animated planes. I don't know if I really know that much.
Did you do a follow path? That's what I've done.
Yeah. It was a follow path for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
the easiest way.
I have to change my tutorial if you said no.
This is not the proper way, Tom.
Yep, right.
Listen to me. I did it once and it looked good. This is the way to do it.
Well, I tell a lie. I've also used. So this is kind of like part of the whole thing as well, as like always developing what's happening and trying to integrate as many tools as possible as well. So like one of the scenes I actually did using Camtrack AR, if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I just, for the life of me, could not animate this particular motion that I wanted. So I thought, oh well, I'll mocap it using my iPhone and stuff, and that kind of like, so that's in there too. Where it's just like, oh yeah, cool. That'd be a fun move.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good tip for anyone who wants to up their realism game for 3D animation. Just act out the camera move. Even with just, I mean, you don't even need to use Camtrack AR, but Camtrack AR makes it very simple, right? It gives you the camera move directly as a Blender file or whatever. But you can also just 3D camera track your just like movement. If you don't have an iPhone, because I think those tools, I don't know if there's a tool like that for Android.
I don't think so. Not to my knowledge, but
yeah. But that definitely helps to upgrade your scene and your realism a lot.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. I would like to get into the wider creative industry now. Like, kind of your view on the current state of it, like what's happening there.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, where do you want to start? What have you been thinking about?
Oh man. Okay. I don't really know. I don't have like any hot takes or anything like that. I feel like we're in a very. I'm constantly angry, and I mean, like, I don't get angry much, but I'm always angry at the whole. Hey, we did everything practically.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, you know that the marketing tactic behind some films just to kind of make it seem like it's more engaging when all it is just putting down the work of some people, you know, many people, because it takes entire studios, and puts their work down. They're overworked as well in general, and just going into like, okay, that really fires my giblets, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's fucked up. Like some studios just overwork and underpay VFX and 3D studios,
Yep.
and then as a thank you, they totally take away their credit by like saying there was no VFX, no 3D in these movies, even if there worked like a lot of studios, like thousands of people still on them, right? Just to market it better because they got bad flag because they didn't pay them enough, and overworked them, so they couldn't deliver what they wanted. So it's just fucked up.
It is. And have you ever read the book Inside VFX?
No, what's it about?
No. Incredible. I highly recommend it to anyone that wants to get in this industry, because it is like it's basically someone, I can't remember his name. Really sorry. But the guy worked as, I think he was a VFX producer or something, but he's kind of like highlighting how the industry has been working for X amount of years, and also like how expensive some of the movies have been to make, to redo, etc., or just how overworked the VFX artists have been up to press and stuff. So it's really like interesting to know how long it's been going on like this, because something's got to change, you know. And I think Corridor recently did this great video, which I thought like highlighted the point of. I think it was Jordan basically having one shot to make, and it was 5 minutes, 5 days, then whatever, to highlight, you know, how long should VFX kind of take, because they get so much slack of it's looking really bad, but it's like, no, well, they just didn't have the time.
I loved that video.
Very good. Recommend that to anyone.
I'll put the link to that in the chat here.
Yeah, and try and find a link to Inside VFX as well.
Inside VFX, like the book?
I'll I'm not sure if I could share with your chat, but
you can just put in the stream chat on the Discord.
Sorry, it's an Amazon link.
Amazon?
I know.
Ew.
But yeah, I'll try and find that. Oh, I don't have permission anyway. I'll share it with you later. But yeah, so that's kind of like, I feel like something's got to give and fix itself, because I don't know. I'm of the opinion that you need to really be smart with budgets, and when it comes down to, like, you know, I'm looking at Disney. There just needs to be like some consideration of what are you making, and is it going to require a lot of stuff, and if so, like, make sure the budget is going to the right places as well, because knowing that you know, there's doing a superhero film, you're going to set it in space, you're going to do a lot of green screen, you're going to do a lot of blue screen. Let's make sure that the VFX artists are getting their pay. They're not being cut down. I know the studios bid. It's really competitive. It's just tough. But I think it's I don't know. I feel like there just needs to be more consideration for making sure that they are being looked after as well, and like basically there's a lot of overworking, and bless them. I've done projects where I didn't sleep for like a weekend, or sometimes even a week, but like to kind of have people who shrug it off and go, well, that's just how it goes. That's the industry for you. Shouldn't be like that, man.
It's fucked up. Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of fucked up parts of the industry for sure. It seems like it's most of the time I guess the jobs that are meant to be invisible, right? Like the jobs that people do that are if you do a good job, it is invisible, right? Like VFX or like even sound. Like if sound just comes natural, right? If sound just like sounds like it's normal and natural, like nothing sticks out as like annoying, then and that's also a problem. Like sound people, they also don't get paid much. They like the good thing is there's like not like VFX take many more people to pull off than sound, right? But still, sound is also not really taken as good care of and like being paid as well as it should. Yeah.
So, and you hit the nail on the head of like, when people have done in film, when people have done their job right, you wouldn't know they've done a job almost. Like, which is why it's more painful as well when you know that, some of the scenes in Top Gun, and again, using that as an example, scenes in Top Gun were done with CG. They were done with that. Why not promote it and be like, no, the CG is sick. Like, look at how good this looks.
Yeah. Can't even tell the difference.
And you wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah, you can't tell the difference, Tom Cruise. So it's very much like what I don't really understand the angle apart from saying it referring back to the old days of Jurassic Park and stuff, where it's like, oh no, they had practical stuff, therefore it was better, but it's also that was the limitation at the time. We can't, during that phase, we couldn't throw things into a computer and it looked realistic, but now we can.
But they also had like back then, as far as I know, like in comparison to today, also bigger budgets, right? So even like if they were only available to have everything practical, at least they had more budget to actually pull it off in a good way.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my. I mean, asked and probably regret now, but
the jaded opinions.
yeah, it's like how to piss off a VFX artist. Ask about the industry.
No, yeah, that's right. But I mean, it's important to like talk about these things and like have that information out there, have people realize the world that we live in, right? So that's the only way we can work on it together and like find a way to fix it and completely. Know that there should be a fix.
There is like which I really appreciate from like Corridor Digital as well, when they do their VFX artist react and it's particularly noticeable and bad. They do say, oh, this is probably an artist who's been really rushed and they're just trying to get something done, and it's like, cool, great. That's the context that the everyday viewer needs. But yeah, there's this thing of like, I think it's like Jackie Chan, almost. There's a quote from him about filmmaking and stuff when like, because he would always like do his takes again and again and again until like it's perfect. Yeah. And when asked like why aren't you, why are we doing this again and stuff? It's fine as is and stuff. It's like, well, are you going to go to every cinema and tell the people that it's the best that we got on the day? It's like, no, you're gonna get it right.
You're gonna get it perfect. I mean, that's really that man is dedicated. Like he's so dedicated.
Oh yeah.
So it's so amazing to also work with people who think like that, right? Like who are dedicated like that. It can be exhausting, but I mean, it's something to be super proud of, right? And that you have someone who encourages you to like do your best is it's a
Yeah.
great experience. As long as everyone pulls the same, right? As long as everyone puts in the same strength and energy, that's just a great feeling. Yeah.
I think that is why I absolutely love what I do, and have been able to do for a number of years now, because it's giving people, I wish that I had some more support when I was younger and creating films and stuff, and someone going like, oh yeah, no, you want to know how to do this? Here's how. And you're doing great, and here's a community that you can really get involved in, and stuff like that. And now it's like I said earlier, like I love being someone's cheerleader to say like, yeah, you can do this, like, and here's how you can do it, and here's some things that you can get involved in. And yeah, I think it's important to be working with people that also have that same vibe, that same like encouragement. And I'm very lucky that I've tend to be surrounded by people who are in that same sort of motivational sort of mindset. So you are aware of like Kirsty, Josh, Javert, and Kirsten. I've already said Kirsten.
Two Kirsties.
Two Kirsties. And I've got that now again at ActionVFX, where everyone is just, honestly, they are the sweetest bunch. And they're just constantly encouraging, and when we're kind of clapping our hands together to go, right, what are we going to do? You get battle plan in place, and everyone just clicks, and it's really, I think that's always good. That's also why like working in film has also been an interest, because it's that same thing of you're working on set, everyone's doing their job, you all gather around the camera to get the shot or get the take, and then everyone goes, right, that's it. Okay, cool. No, that's what we've all done and worked towards, and there's a magical moment. I like that teamwork.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, really. I feel like working on set gave me also like a lot of lessons for just like life in general, for like my personal life, where it's just like especially I guess trusting and working with others really was getting much easier for me after I worked a lot on sets, because most of the time I noticed that it helps a lot to tell people where you need their help, right? And then like tell them, please take care of this. I'm taking care of this, and just kind of like establishing, if we both take care of something that we need from each other, then we're gonna get to the result we want.
It's that delegation, like you said, it's trusting someone and going, yeah, okay, because I mean I feel like you were maybe the same as myself. I was very hands-on and controlling, especially when it came to certain things of like maybe his editing or like how the camera should operate and stuff like that. But once you start delegating, you then suddenly realize, oh wait, hang on, I don't know, that person's a lot better than me. I'm gonna make sure that I'll get them to do other stuff, and we'll work together, and now you can focus on one thing that you really enjoy rather than having to stress about everything.
I think that that learning probably extends to like the whole life too, where people are just scared of things they don't know or they don't understand, right? And then filmmaking, it's interesting that the first reflex then is to do it, like either to not do it at all or to do it yourself, even if you're not good at it, or if you don't even want to do it, but you just don't know anything about it, so you don't want to trust other people with it either. It's a bit different there, but I think it's in general a life thing that's happening.
Yeah. No, I think it's being okay with asking for help.
Yeah. Let's go into the positive side of the industry right now. Let's think about the opportunities and like developments or like exciting things that are happening right now? Like,
Okay.
what's on your
Right.
mind about that?
Here we go. This is right. Okay, so positives I can always do. Right. We're living in a time where it's so easy to create, and it's phenomenal. I absolutely love it, and think that like everyone, if you're interested in visual effects or filmmaking, you're living in the best time. You want to learn something, go onto YouTube, go onto TikTok. Sign up to an online course. Maybe Calvin's school.
Hey, that's a cool idea. I think everyone should try that.
But so you're at your disposal is the entire internet full of videos that you can follow and learn. So if you're curious about something, or if you're coming up to a problem, you can literally go into YouTube or Google or ChatGPT and ask a question and find your answer within seconds. If you want assets and resources to make your life easier, boy, are you spoiled.
What a time to be alive.
You got free software from you got Blender, you got HitFilm, you got DaVinci and all sorts going for free that people can just be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to download it. I'm going to learn this thing, and it still be seen as something that can, you can take on as a career. There are studios that will use DaVinci, or Blender and stuff as well. There's free software. There's AI now, and I know that that's kind of like a shocking word and stuff sometimes, but no, there's AI that can help remove all of the nitty gritty bits. We were talking about runway ML. I hate rotoscoping. Can't stand it.
No one likes rotoscoping. Yeah, I mean, actually, there was a time where I kind of enjoyed it to just kind of relax it a bit, do something uncreative once in a while.
Yeah. I think there was a point during the Rise of the Dark Side where I spent an entire day rotoscoping, and I was just listening to the Mad Max soundtrack to get myself going faster. But there are days where it's fine, but sometimes you just no, I just want to hit a button and move on to the fun bit, making an explosion or something. So it's kind of there are tools that you can use to literally go, yep, cool, okay, I don't like doing that, let's move over here. And when it comes to the other things of making the video, the content, the film, you then also have all the resources at your disposal to be hey, okay, I need some music. Well, there's services that can provide music and sound effects. You need assets and explosions. Hey, you get an ActionVFX account.
Is there there's a free trial or something? I have not tried ActionVFX myself yet. How is the service working?
Have you not?
Actually, not yet.
Have you not? Okay, because I feel so. Hang on, are you telling me that the explosion in Rise of the Dark Side during that X-wing, is that not an ActionVFX explosion?
Dude, my asset collection is I don't know. I started building it
mad
12 years ago, or even older.
Yeah.
And I honestly haven't added new assets to my personal collection for the last 5 years. So I have no idea. I have no memory of where I got those assets from back then.
So ActionVFX as of I think Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. We're moving to a new subscription model. So you can sign up. There is a free forever plan, but there's also basically a variety of different options you can choose from, especially for indie creators, where you can basically just get a credit system. So you get a certain number of credits per month, and you can pick and choose what assets you want to download from over 11,000. Yeah, 11,000 assets. And that's from everything from 3D models to explosions, fire, ground stuff. But as well as that, you then have hang on, it's kind of, then you also get 1,500 essential assets that you can download from that don't affect your credits as well. So basically, you're getting an entire library that you can download and just be like, yeah, okay. And I've been with the guys for about 4 or 5 months now, and let me tell you, like, once you see like how many like the assets and going, oh wow, they've got a comet, they've got a nuclear explosion, they've got this, you'll immediately just sparks this creative flair where you're like, okay, no, I can literally do anything right now. And because, as a 3D artist yourself, sometimes doing sims, it takes forever. And it's just like, no, I want a really good fire or explosion or smoke. And I can download this asset, I can comp it in, and it looks phenomenal because it was also like, but done by a professional or filmed practically. Anyway, so going back to the main thing, like, you have all of these things that I'm mentioning at your disposal, and it's only going to get better and more accessible. If you don't want to film on a certain location, you can do like bloody, you go into Unreal and start doing like your own virtual production. People have done it. I've speaking to someone in Australia who made their own virtual production setup in their shed for a film, and it's like, that's sick. Like, I absolutely love that we're living in that time where you can do these things, and it is so, like I said, accessible.
Everything is very very doable. You just I mean, there's the only investment,
as long as you're passionate,
that you the only investment you need to still make is your time.
Yes,
but you don't. That's it. That's it.
That is literally it. And I really do think that, like, you will see this rise in filmmakers and stuff like that, and hopefully things will change with the industry too, to congratulate and reward those people that are, you look at A24, and I think that is going to be the way that things will go, of indie, low budget but really well done projects.
Yeah. It's really cool to see like those projects rise, like to see a publisher that gives complete creative freedom, right? And then like seeing that they are successful with it. It's really cool. I mean, it's interesting. I saw a documentary about A24 recently. And like, it's not like every movie of theirs is amazing. Like, they still have a lot of flops and like a lot of bad movies, but the how's it called? The risk pays out at the end, right? Like, risking to make new movies and new ideas does pay out. Yeah, because especially now, I guess, where like people got tired of like all the samey movies, right? Like, of all the Hollywood productions. Especially now, it's worth trying new things again.
It is, absolutely.
I would start to also ask the viewers to comment and write questions for you, because I already saw Keanu is also in the chat here.
Hello.
So if anyone has questions for Tom, you can start writing them down now, and then we will get into them.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. Like, I don't know why, I kind of just zoned out and was just like, I'm just having a chat with Calver. Hi everyone. I'm just having fun.
It was very, very, very private here, very personal. Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
What games have you played recently? Do you play anything?
With games? Oh man, I don't get to game. Well, actually, hang on. No, tell a lie. The only time I get to play now is when I'm having a catch up with Javert, Ollie, and Kirsty. So we try and do it. I think the aim is to do it weekly, but it actually is turned into more of a fortnightly sort of thing. But we've been playing like Back 4 Blood, great game, like zombie shooting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really fun. And we've actually been playing Fortnite sometimes, which I didn't expect to be playing. But really fun. Just kind of, usually we just running away from zombies and just having a good catch up. But for me and Kirsty are very. We rely on Ollie and Javert a lot.
With like the gaming skills, you mean?
Yeah, we just can't. This be like every couple of moments, I'll go down and be like, guys,
Don't
Someone
again,
come in.
please.
sorry, I saw a trap.
No, let me here. Wait, how's that like famous quote? Leave me here. You have to survive.
Leave me behind.
Yes.
Go on without me.
You can do it. I'll distract the zombies for you.
Yeah, I'm not even doing that. I think I'm opening a cursed suitcase last time.
Those exist. Very, very scary. Dangerous.
In the game, yeah.
Okay, Keanu has a first question here. Where can we find your socials? And he loves your enthusiasm.
Oh man, I really appreciate that. Yeah, so we can share that shortly. But yeah, I'm at Tom_Cowles_ on Instagram. I've got a YouTube channel, and I haven't uploaded there in a while. But I got a comment. I got a comment the other day, which really took me back. So I haven't uploaded to my personal YouTube channel in about like maybe 2 years, and I got a comment the other day. It was like emailed and pinged. First comment in a very long time, and it was just like, "Please come back." And it really got me. I was like, "Oh man,
Please,
please come back." Like, oh man, maybe I should upload something at some point.
Do you know that person at all, or was it a random watcher?
Nope. Just a random watcher, and I really, that really took me back. And then like now that a lot of the ActionVFX community has like also part of the hit film community as well, so there's a bit of overlap. And like we were on a live stream the other day where people go, "Oh, hey, Tom's here," and that always catches me off guard as well. I'm like, oh yeah, nice, sweet. They're excited to see me.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, people like you, man. You're very, very lovable, very likable.
I mean, that's very sweet because I hate myself.
No, you don't, right?
No. But yeah, no, I really do appreciate that, and like that sort of encouragement is always welcome. But yeah, you can find me on channels. I will share links when I can type.
Yeah, and we also have we live in the year of technology, so there's a QR code next to Tom. If you scan that, you get to his website.
That's sick. I'm gonna scan that now.
Dude, you're gonna scan it? No, don't expose me. It's gonna go to my website.
It's all a ploy. Oh yeah, you want to know that Tom guy, right?
No, but I also pasted the link to his website in the chat here, so it's easy for anyone to click on it.
Nice.
Yes. We also got another comment here from Alvin, etc. When do you decide whether you want to embrace new tech versus sticking with what you know better? That's interesting.
I love that question. Oh man. Okay. When to embrace it and when to stick. I think when. Oh man. Hang on. Wait. Sorry. Say that name again. Alwyn. Hey man.
You know that Alvin?
I know Alwyn.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think that when it comes to embracing new tech, there's always there's always a bit of a hype and a spike when things go, oh, this is the latest AI, for example, like, Runway ML or something. It's like, okay, that's always the fun play stage where you should be like, kind of like just messing around with it. You never fully integrating it into your pipeline, when it comes to integrating into a pipeline where you're actually getting paid and doing stuff professionally, you need to give that some time until you can see like major results from other creators, not just the people who are kind of creating, who are marketing it and stuff like that. Because obviously they're going to show you the best results. What you want to see is like other creators going, okay, I use this thing and it got me this result. And the more you see of, you kind of want to keep your pulse on like the community side of it and seeing like what are they, who are other people creating and doing stuff with. So I'm always cautious about integrating stuff until other people have trialed it. I think it's like it's good to keep trying and playing with stuff. So if it is like a new, like say like because there's editors, there's a AI out there to do editing for clips and stuff like that. It's like, okay, great. On small projects, throw a couple at it, see what happens and things like that. You want to do R&D, but you need to. The big thing is monitoring. Kind of what we were saying with Agile is like monitoring where the strengths are, where the cons are, and really taking note of like what is going to help you, because you want to be able to go like, okay, there's this project. You basically want to be able to self-evaluate and answer that question yourself and go like, is this technology suitable for this project, and is it going to help me, or am I going to spend a lot of time cleaning up?
Yeah. I mean, I love experimenting with new tools basically as soon as they come out. Like it's like whenever I see something that's interesting, it's like I'll give it a shot.
Always
try it out.
Yeah.
Especially now with like the school system here, where I have like new tool Tuesday, right? I kind of like get forced to learn a new tool every
great
Tuesday.
idea as well.
Yeah, it's actually been a really good experience, like learning all these tools that I actually wanted to check out for a long time, and then now I finally like just am forced to do it basically. And it's really cool. It really, even if you don't end up using the tool in your workflow, it definitely shows you new perspectives on your workflow that you are using. So,
and I think it's always good. It's good to fill in like what you're basically doing. So this was part of the master's degree I mentioned earlier, technical direction. It had a part about workflow pipelines, and the analogy they kind of used is like every software that you're jumping towards, or every part in production, is a brick in the wall. Okay, so imagine you're a builder and you're making a wall. You've got these bricks laying out, but you need to fill in the gaps with certain things, certain tools maybe, in order to make that bridge, to make that wall like really smooth and concrete. So that's where you can kind of like, you can look at a tool in the experimental phase and go, okay, I think that this may be able to connect this thing to that thing. Or maybe in this little section here where there's a gap, I can fill that in. And then go, yeah, great, cool. So it's, then you're actually looking at a pipeline manager.
Yeah. But I also like the idea of like trying out new tools a lot, because it gives you an edge over I guess the standard on like creating things that are unique, because most of the time when a programmer creates a tool, it is for them to like solve a problem they personally have, or like want to experiment with something they haven't seen before, right? Like just like doing something new for themselves. So most of the time, if you use those tools, you also find ways that this tool does something different that makes your stuff stand out, right, in comparison to other stuff. So sometimes maybe it is a cool idea to use a like very alternative or like weird tool to create your art, because then it's gonna shape your workflow and it's gonna help you shape your own style, right? So
completely. And style to nitty gritty stuff, and there's for a while I went through, before upgrading to this new PC, I went through exporting stuff at a lower resolution for the time to save on time, and then expanding it using like AI.
Oh yeah, I do
Um,
that all the time
and then
too.
go-
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get really good sort of like results from that. But more importantly, it's the time saving aspect where you're like, okay, yeah, no, I'm putting my feet back up because I don't have to sit there for hours and hours and hours waiting for a 6K export for what in this example. When I exported it at 1080 or whatever, and then just hit a button.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's also like I feel like we don't talk about upresing that much in the context with AI because like that's also like a huge part
Huge
that
part of it.
really that really like saved so many artists time and also like energy, right? It's just like it helps
Yeah.
just to like save the planet. So like that development is super nice. Like we can cut render times using AI upscaling. I don't know, but like a fourth, right? Like we only have to like render a quarter of the resolution. Okay, maybe not a quarter, but half of the resolution, and then we can like have the rest being generated
Yeah.
in I don't know in a few minutes, right? So yeah, it's
Yep.
definitely a great improvement there.
Great question.
Yeah, thanks, Alvin. All right, I would invite any student if they're watching to come into the voice chat and just chat with us, like ask us a question in person. If you're down for that, I'll give you let's say 10 seconds, and after that we would move on to the mind experiment.
The what?
A little mind exploration. We're going to look into your imagination, Tom.
Okay. Oh god, I feel like I need to prepare myself for this.
Get buckled up for a wild roller coaster ride. So it's
Whole new world.
a whole fantastic point of
Point
view.
of view.
I'm
We
not
were
sure
singing
how
this
the-
before we went live.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. I had like a little. I think it was a few days ago when my girlfriend and we just watched all the Disney songs like in a row. So, so I think that's where it also comes from.
I'm watching them with because Evie loves Pixar, my daughter.
Nice. Good taste.
So so we're making our way through for all of them. But now I've got like Toy Story constantly stuck in my head. It's like, you got a friend in me.
You got a friend in me. So good.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I think no one else has a question or is joining us for a little talk. So let's just go straight into the mind exploration.
Do it. Okay.
All right. So what this is gonna be is basically I'm gonna ask you to imagine things, and I just want you to take me through exactly what you are imagining, right? Like, tell me exactly what you perceive, what you feel, what you see, even like maybe what you hear. Really, it's kind of like a test on your senses and on your strengths and weaknesses of your imagination, right?
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I like this. Okay.
All right, cool. All right, so to begin with, I would like to ask you to, just calm down a little bit. You can close your eyes and, just like imagine you're nowhere. Imagine you're just here by yourself and, don't imagine anything specific. You can also, like, throughout this whole thing, if it helps you, you can also keep your eyes closed. Let's start with, I want you to imagine an apple and tell me what happens.
So, as in, sorry, am I guiding from here?
Yes, you're guiding
Yeah?
me through what
Okay.
you are seeing, what you are experiencing.
So, okay, currently the apple is attached to a tree, it's hanging from a branch and stuff. But as I'm kind of like approaching it, a little worm pops out. Got big. It's not like a realistic worm. It's like a cartoon worm. It's got a little like the traditional
Big eyes.
eyes going on. Yeah, eyes, mouth, and some teeth. Teeth are a bit uncanny valley, but you know what? It's cartoonish CG worm now. Oh, it's CG now. That's interesting.
Oh, did that just change? Like, did it turn from
kind of-
cartoon to
like-
CG?
Yeah. As my mind was kind of like playing it, it was just like, no, okay, yeah. So it's now I'm in a CG land, almost like I think it's that Pixar mention that we were talking about, kind of dripping in. So okay, so now it's there and it's just munching on this apple, going from basically kind of like peering out and then weaving in and out of this apple, munching away. It's like, hey man, how's it going? How's it going?
Nice.
Okay, so that's the apple.
Cool. Okay, I would like to ask you to grab that apple.
Gotcha. Hey. Okay. Oh no. Okay. The worm's back on. No, he's slithering up my arm now.
So you have the apple on your arm and on your hand. And
well, no, I got the apple in my hand, but he's going wee. It's kind of making it look like he's on a leaf now. He's like ah.
I see. All right, and with when you imagined that, like, can you imagine the feel of the apple in your hand? Like, can you actually kind of feel the sensation in your hand?
I could kind of, when worms do the whole
yeah.
So it's kind of can. That's kind of like what he's doing, but he's making his way up to my shoulder to basically.
And you can kind of feel that. You kind of imagine that sensation, like you can feel that sensation.
I can picture it, not so much feel.
I see.
But it's like this is how I would be like, no, yeah, okay. So rolling up the arm, to the shoulder. It's like, hey man, how's it going? What's going on with you?
Eaten any apples lately?
Eat apple much?
Can you imagine yourself having a bite of that apple for me?
I mean, it looks like he's already eaten it, man.
Yeah.
He's taking a couple bites. I don't know if I want that, but fine. Yeah, that's cool. Eating that apple. Juicy. Immediately was the proper crunch.
Did you hear the crunch?
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, sorry, I'm breaking from this exercise for a moment. Is it weird thinking that, and I'm curious if you do this too, where it's like I'm picturing it as almost like a timeline, and it's always like editor's timeline, and knowing that apple crunch would go here, and this is what it would look like, and it's like
do you have that do you have that visually in front of you? Like you almost have like a visual timeline in front of you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like, almost like as I'm, especially as you're asking it, it's going, yep, cool, and then there it is, and then.
So it's almost like you're imagining yourself assembling this, almost like a video.
Then. And which I didn't think that my mind would work like, but apparently this is how it's as I'm dissecting it. Maybe that's also like why it was going like, oh, it's CG, and then my mind it was kind of like, oh, here's how you would animate his eyebrows. It's kind of like filling in those gaps with how I would make it.
Do you think like I guess it makes it easier for you to imagine things that way because you are used to creating things in that way then, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually trying. Yeah, I think it's always been trying to break stuff down into its simplest form to be like, how can that be possible? So I guess that's kind of just I like puzzle solving. So I guess that's kind of, I don't know, maybe that's just how my mind's working now, and I didn't know it. I'm just always on.
I had a few guests in the in here already that kind of described the imagination being influenced by their work, right? Like for example, one kind of the imagination was working almost like a viewer, right? They had a letterbox and stuff, so it felt like a movie they are watching, or it felt like it's scenes they are watching. It wasn't so much as themselves standing there, but more like they are actually watching a scene.
Oh right, okay. So it's like, okay, that makes me feel less. I was like, oh yeah, that's a bit weird. No, again, I feel better.
No, man, that's all cool.
That's a good exercise.
Yeah. I mean, we can I would like to go a little bit further with you if you're down for that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would like for you to kind of like still imagine that apple, right? Like try to get that apple as clear as possible in front of your inner eye. And I want you to abstract it and turn it into a fire truck.
I mean, sorry, you want the apple to become a fire truck?
Yes. How do you do it?
Okay. Throw that sucker, and then as it kind of like hits the by a road apparently, as it hits the pavement on the road, it kind of like just then goes and almost like inflates, like it's a big old like you know.
So,
Then kind of like because you got the red of the apple, and then it's just going into a fire truck, and then like that kind of so it's just kind of like inflated rather than it explode. Yeah.
Inflode.
Inflode. Yep. So there we are.
Nice. Okay. I would like to figure out.
This is like playing D&D. I'm digging it.
Oh, dude, that would be so fun to just like turn this into like it just becomes a quest.
Let's just do it. Let's just play D&D.
Yeah, a friend of mine like made his own D&D campaign, and we started playing it recently. It's really fun. But we haven't continued. We only did one session. But let's go back to the fire truck for a moment, because I'm still a little bit interested in like how detailed you can imagine that fire truck, and if you can keep its shape in front of you, right? Like without it changing. So like tell me a little bit about the surfaces, or like the driver cabin, like what's happening in there.
So walking over, and immediately I can see, approaching it. It's got the fireman, it's got a little badge on the front of it. But my main attention was, and again, I think this kind of tying into what would I need to do to create it, is like I'm focusing a lot on like the surface imperfections that are going on. So like those scratches and fingerprints from people that have like clearly like opened the handle and stuff before it. So it's a used one despite having just turned from an apple. But yeah, opening
Just
the door,
being born.
going in. Yeah, just going in, and we got not leather seats, they're like cotton sort of comfortable looking car seats that you'd see. It looks old, like it would be from like, I don't know, 2000s, 90s maybe. So yeah, maybe this is a bit beat up, but yeah, it's the inside. Wait, hang on, there's a lever. Pull that lever. Hey, there's the siren.
Nice. I think it would be also interesting, like since it seems like you're already kind of like imagine yourself being in a 3D or editing software. Like, can you go fully in there? Like, can you imagine this being inside of Blender and you like just taking things apart, moving them around?
Yeah, it's kind of like, and again, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts whether you do this as well. But since like learning 3D and stuff like that is the tendency for how my mind works, when it's like it's picturing stuff and then like being able to almost like visually rotate it around, or almost like God mode. It's like So yeah, that I'm not like my height all the time or anything, and then. When you were mentioning the apple, it was then thinking like, okay, there's a strong depth of field and stuff like that.
So it seems to you like it feels more like, I guess, yeah, like you say, like God view, kind of like you're not there, like your body, yourself. It doesn't feel like you yourself are in there that much, but more like you are a bit disconnected from the imagination.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So it's not like me exploring a place. It's almost like a white void that I can then just fill with stuff.
Yeah, I mean, even though you're like also when we start this, you said that like when you take the apple, like the worm crawls down on you, so you definitely still like put yourself in that situation, right? So I guess you can do both easily then, yeah.
I don't really know. You're asking how my mind works, and
we're exploring that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like, I guess, where we could. Oh yeah, one more question I always find really interesting is like, how would you like? Can you imagine things like overlaid on your vision, right? Like, if you can you imagine that apple sitting on your table, for example, like in front of you?
Ah, see, okay, I don't think I could do that. Like, I can't. Like, I think I can do. Well, I don't think I do that as often unless like I'm really paying attention. Like, but honestly, man, I'm really kind of like struggling to think of like how this all works. But it's like I can do that. Whereas like, okay, yeah, no, I can picture the apple sitting there and stuff like that. But then when it becomes interacting, it's I can't do that. It's always got to be like separate from me a little bit. Like I can interact up here, but if you ask me to overlay and stuff, then I definitely can't.
Ah, interesting. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Like I remember you as a kid you sit in the car and as you're driving down the road you picture Spider-Man swinging from one lamppost to another.
Classic.
That's the classic overlay. But if you then said then like maybe Spider-Man lands on the car, but if I then pictured like high five, no, I can't.
Oh, so you could imagine like you thinking back, like you imagine yourself imagining Spider-Man like swinging around whatever you see, but when it comes to you then interacting with it, that's where it stops.
That's where it stops. I can't then take that further.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense because like once you want to interact with it and nothing happens, it breaks the illusion, right? Like it's just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh
this
wait,
isn't-
no, See, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I-
That's
cool.
that's that.
Nice. There's my mind.
Yeah.
The crazy portal.
Did you feel like you
That was fun.
learned anything new through this experiment just now?
Yeah, I didn't realize that I think in a timeline and stuff though. Like as in filling in the gaps and like we're pointing out, like breaking it down as much. Like because it is literally I think as I'm filling in the gaps, like when you're mentioning about the fire truck and stuff like that, I'm literally going, well, how would I make that, and like what attention to detail and stuff. So yeah, that's interesting. That's a good exercise. I like that.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like it's really, I found that a lot of people have very different ways of using their imagination, so it's really interesting to, yeah, experience that, see that with other friends. Oh, I features also in the chat. What's up, Jan? He's my go-to sound designer. He's a really good musician.
Oh, nice. Hi.
Yeah, Tom.
Cool. Yeah.
That's everything I wanted to talk about. Do you want to talk about anything else?
No, I mean, I'm gonna have to go and have my dinner. I could tell you about my dinner. No, I appreciate you having me on, man. I hope that this has been helpful for your students and just I've had fun. I'll do this again.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming by. It was really nice to, I guess also like tell our story to the people here. I think it's really
man.
We had great times, and I hope we're gonna have some more.
Hell yeah! No, we should definitely do something, and like after this conversation about or the experiment and stuff like that, we should play D&D.
Is that? Oh yeah. Actually, I played AI dungeon with friends online once.
Oh yeah,
It's kind
Easy.
of like it's like a easygoing kind of abstract crazy version of D&D, right? With AI being the game master, but it's really fun. But if you have any idea how to play that, otherwise, let's do it.
Let's do it. Cool. All right, man. Yeah.
All right.
Let's sort that out.
All right. I'll switch to
Cool.
to the solo screen again, and let's say goodbye to Tom. Bye, Tom.
Bye.
All right. That was Tom Cowles. Make sure to check out his website and follow him on social media. And I'll also head out now because I've got some friends coming over for a karaoke night. So yeah, I'll wish you guys a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday again. It depends if you're a student, make sure that you send in submissions on the Discord server so we can work together on your projects and on your problems. So yeah, if there's submissions, I'll do a live stream on Monday between 18 and 20 Berlin time. Yeah, otherwise I'll see you for New Tool Tuesday, where we're gonna explore a new tool. Not sure which one yet, but yeah, that's definitely the next one. Alright guys, have a great weekend.